Okay, so once you start driving, you can go for 8 hours before you need to take your mandatory 30-minute. So 7, 1 hour here, 2 hour here, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hours straight. Okay. Now it's time to go off duty. Let's say this is from Phoenix. Let's say somewhere in Utah. So now that we have all this space, we can work with this a little cleaner. So true or false, you can take a 30-minute break on duty.
True.
Yes. In that case, milling. You can take your 30-minute while you're fueling, no problemo, thanks to a handy little break given to us a few years ago. We're in Utah. Do Moab, maybe? Yeah, that'd be fun.
Okay.
So Moab, Utah. We'll just say 200. And then sometimes they want you to put the odometer too, so we can do that. We'll make one up. Here, on duty driving. ODO, we'll say 700,000 on the dot. And then 8 times 60, 180 miles. I should have known that, but it's been a while. So 480, 700K, 480. So there we go. Yeah, so we only use paper logs if our ELD stop working or if we meet the exemption breaks.
Okay.
All right. So this is our 30-minute fueling sequence here. We should be off duty by now because I already put the line there. I can fix it actually. You're not supposed to white out anything. Well, we can. Whoops, it easy. Yeah. Okay, we'll just have to live with it. And then if a DOT officer sees you whiting stuff out, they'll be like, "What's up with this?" Oh, well, I forgot on duty, not off duty.
Okay.
And then after your 30-minute break, you can return for your remaining 3 hours. We'll do 1, 2, 3 to get us close to Salt Lake City. And we'll get most of the way. We can say probably Spanish Fork. Oops. Okay. So I can make a clean line. Ish. I forgot this one. Right. Basically, we're just putting RTR on the return to drive part. If they ask what's RTR, just say return to road.
Okay.
because you've already given them your odometer. You don't need to again. Oh, let's say they want the specific time, so we can punch that into. At a probably around this area. So say they want on duty at 6:30:06:31, for example. If they want that. And then we can do on duty pre-trip. Yeah. 07:01, for example. And then you can intentionally lay out your day to where it is just the even numbers. So look bad. It's all right. So let me do that here, RTR, and let's see, 3:45, so 15:46, we can say. Okay, great. And this is our off duty for the day. This is all we get. We get to some pilot in Spanish Fork. For a post trip, should take about 15 minutes. And then at which point we can go off duty for the rest of the day.
Okay.
If you want to. It makes your log look a little better if you do it properly and use your sleep berth. So a lot like that. And then
Okay.
we do one here, down here, and then at 2200, you can do a short one, no problemo. But this it gets kind of messy there. Try to keep it from getting that way. Okay. Because you can stay on duty for 14 hours, you can only just drive for a max of 11 in those 14. Trip. And then I'll write down the location. Spanish Fork, Utah. Exit, let's say 4:25. I know that's definitely wrong. Just doing our thing. Let's say post trip at 18:46. And then off duty finally. Or OD for short to make it look a little cleaner. And finally, the sleeper berth. Just like that. And you don't need to give your location because you already did it on your post trip where you stop the vehicle and do not drive any further. They know what exit it is. They know, the odometer. So another 3, so 480 times 180 or plus 180, 660. That sounds about right, I think.
Okay.
ODO, 700, 660. Yeah, that sounds good. For 11 hours, yeah, it's perfect. And just like that, that's all good and squared away. Now we calculate the hours, and I have some handy tricks that we can use. So let us say you need to count out the hours, but it's kind of messy. So you can count them out from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5, because you want to do decimals and not fractions. So you can write down a little 6.5. Helps, or we can type it in too. Yeah, that might be good. Let's type in 6.5. Okay, cool. And then we have a 0.25 right here. All right. And then we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-hour stretch. Just type in 8 there, or you'll be writing it down. And you can do it in pencil and then erase it afterwards too. We took our 30-minute break, so 0.5 right here.
All right.
So far, this makes sense. We got a 0.25 here for the post trip. We have a, so this is meant to be on 1900. 1, 2, 3, 3 hours here, and then 2 hours here. So finally, we can add them all up. So we have, oh, whoops, I forgot this 0.5 right here. Okay, so we have 3 hours of off duty, half of an hour here. So we can do 3.5 off duty. And then we have, what do I do, 6.5 here? Okay, I just put in the wrong places all. Put up here instead, because of like halves. 6.5 and then 2. So we got 8.5 in the sleeper berth. Really nice. Good amount of sleep. 8 and then 3. I didn't write down for whatever reason. So we'll do that now. For a max of 11. Perfect. And then 0.25, 0.5. Okay, so we got 1 right here. 1 whole hour of. And that looks good. Now I grab the calculator, I double check. 3.5, whoops, not 3.52. 3.5, 8.5, 11, and then 1 is 24. That's how we check it. And if it doesn't match up perfectly, you can fib just a little bit. Obviously, we can't, easily calculate 631, 0631, 1846, and then whatever else.
Mm-hmm.
But this looks really good. So then we go to bill of lading. 160 DA 001. And then students. From Phoenix, AZ, to Spanish Fork, where you end your trip at the end of the day. They want to know where you are, where you're beginning. And technically, you'll be using a 3-in-1 for this. I'll show you how to do that. Total miles driving today, 660. That's just you. If you have a teammate and he drives another 660, you can do 1320.
Okay.
So that 1320. Let's say he's driven from somewhere in Texas. Maybe El Paso's a little too far, but somewhere in Texas. Maybe Amarillo to Phoenix, maybe. And then you took over at Phoenix and then took that to Salt Lake City. That's a good load. That would be your total mileage for the unit. So if you have a co-driver, and then there's a signature line for your co-driver here too. So we can do that. I'll do mine. Oops. Wrong one. I'll do mine, and then I'll sign for you. So AC.
Okay.
Say 160, 0, 0. and trailer number 1601. Now, the recap. Okay, so we have all this good. It's all certified. It's all good to go. The recap. So eligible hours today, we had to start with, let's say 70. And then we used up, no, we didn't. You add your driving and on duty together. So we used up 12 out of the 14-hour working day. So that comes out to 58. All right. Hours gained from the last days. You know what? Let's say 70, a total reset. So we have 58 to use tomorrow. Yep, we took our 34 consecutive hours off duty. And you have your 60 or 70.
Okay.
Now, about the I know what I can do. Now, IFTA, let's say you're filling out an IFTA form. It's not going to look anything like this. Anytime you enter and anytime you leave and enter a state, you're going to write it down. So state exit, and then you're going to have state entered, state entered. You're going to line them up. Whoops. So we left Arizona, exit 00, and the odometer was probably 700,400 at that point. Maybe that's too much. Let's do 280. And then you entered New Mexico. Actually, it would be Arizona, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So Arizona to Nevada. Enter Nevada. And then the odometer at that point is still 700,000 to 80. And then in the same day, you leave Nevada at odometer 700,000 or 80. I'll say that's wrong, but it's what I'll say. All right, and then oops. Leave Nevada and you enter Utah. The same. This is what IFTA wants to know because of the associated fuel taxes in each individual state, because they're not all the same. Okay, so this is it though. So I only got to worry about 3 states. Just nice. And then they'll have something like total mileage for the day, and we saw was 660 miles. 60, actually, no, it was like well, yeah, for you it was. And then your co-driver will fill out their own IFTA form. Oh, I know. Beginning ODO and ending ODO. Yeah, that's how it's done. So total mileage will come. All right, get out of here. Come down here. Oh boy. Okay, and then ending. So we started at 700,000 on the dot. We ended at 700,660. So that is your total mileage. That's how it's meant to work with the math like that. And then they'll have stuff like highways used. So we used the 17, and then let's say 87 or something. It's hypothetical, but we'll do it. 17. You don't have to tell them for how long though, although it would be a good idea. Highway 7 to the I-15. For Moab would be like the 287 or something like that. Yep, that looks pretty good. So that's generally how to do the IFTA. And then finally will be the DVIR on pretty much what they want to see, because whenever you do a paper log, you should do a DVIR as well. It's just a checklist of what that stuff looks like.
What's IFTA stand for?
IFTA stands for International Fuel Tax Agreement, not to be confused with the International Fuel Tax Association. The IFT Association is what proposed the IFT agreement. So Canada, Mexico, and United States co-op on IFTA. And it only applies to the lower 48. It does not apply to British Columbia.
Okay.
So yeah, it's kind of neat because we have different fuel tax rates in different states, and you can look them up in something like a web form on TA, for example, Travel Center of America, the truck stop. You can do that. And then I think some certain books, like some fuel tax books, you can buy from J.J. Keller or something like that. J.J. Keller is everything transportation related. So if you want info, you can get it from them.
Okay.
And at the end of the year, depending on the states that you've ran, you or your company pays out the associated tax for those states with using all this data. So there will be people out there like Travel Center of America who will put that information together for you for free, or you can pay people to do it as well. The federal government requires that we pay these taxes because the government needs their tax.
But even though when you get fuel, when you're on the operator, you get fuel, you pay the tax then, you got to pay it again at the end of the year?
That's right. So you pay that tax,
Wow.
you pay an additional fuel road tax.
Oh, wow.
Yep.
Yeah, that's all new.
Yep. So the reason why California is so high is you pay a lot of that tax. So if you run in California, you don't need to pay as much as that fuel road usage tax if you're running California exclusively, because you're paying the majority of it while you're fueling, like you said. Then in Texas, I think it's like a 50-50 sort of thing. You pay some of it, and then you pay some of the fuel road tax usage. So generally, wherever the diesel is more expensive, you pay more of the tax right then and there. And then you keep those receipts and you submit those. And they'll say, oh, yeah, you fueled in California a lot, so you only got to pay a little bit of the fuel road tax usage. Yeah. Makes sense, mostly?
Yeah.
Cool. All right.